All right, sound test. Okay. So, hello and welcome everybody. I need to mute myself. Okay, so let's start stream number 13. So today, nothing really special. It's just going to be a snapshot of the kind of things I'm doing in Tatoeba. So I'll just go through some routine tasks that I have. Yeah. And it's gonna be a fairly short stream, I would say. So let's start. First of all, so last week we deployed, maybe I'll take the other view. Last week we deployed on the production website a change regarding one of the languages, Tokipona. So this is a constructed language which we added a very long time ago in Tatoeba when it was not yet well, it was a language, let's say, that was not part of the ISO standard that we are using currently to judge what really is a language. And so we had a special code for it, a custom code that was Toki, and basically it recently, like the community of speakers of this language managed to have this language accepted as part of the official list of ISO 693, and it has an official language code which is TOK. And so basically the change that we deployed was to change, maybe I can show it better over here, to change the language codes from TOKI to just TOK. So now this is changed, but this had a few side effects which were reported to us by one of the members. So there are actually 3 different issues. The first one was that it was apparently not possible to save a new sentence. So that first one got solved after logging out and logging back in. So it was not possible to save, even though I think this person was selecting the language, but then trying to save and it wouldn't save. So that's one issue. A second issue is that today, I guess it's still an issue, is if the automatic language selection is detected and it detects that the sentence is Tokipona, then the sentence isn't saved. And the last issue, this last side effect that we haven't anticipated, is that the search doesn't seem to find all the sentences anymore, but I think only on specific cases. So yeah, so this is one thing to look into. So the first one about not being able to save even though the language is selected, I think, well, this one is probably a temporary issue, but we actually have a pull request which might be related to that. I mean, I would guess very much that it's related. We have this one pull request here which solves some underlying. So the problem that this is trying to solve is completely different. It's something about the profile picture, but while like looking into this issue, Yorba realized that there is some underlying issue about the data that we save in the session for authenticated user, and so very likely when we deployed Tokipona with the new code, I would assume that Tepan here had still a session with the old code, and when he was trying to save, it was probably not saving because it was trying to send the request with the old code. So that one I wouldn't worry too much. Now for the automatic language detection, yeah, that's something I actually didn't think about, but we can try to have a look. That's something also I'm not super familiar with, but I just wonder how things are working here, if there is anything about language, or we maybe have to run some command to compile again, like so yeah, we'll have to kind of scan again the new sentences with the sentence, or maybe there is somewhere a configuration of something that we need to change, but here is not things I'm really familiar with, so I wouldn't be able to tell. Okay, maybe we should check back to the Tatoeba 2 here. If there is anything that we run on a regular basis for language detection, regenerate n-grams. So this is about the language detection. Okay, it actually relies on the CSV. Alright, so it seems we maybe need to run this script here for the language detection. And I don't know what is this script here. Can I find it somewhere? Okay. So I don't know if there's gonna be a better solution, but yeah, worst case, I guess we're gonna have to run these scripts and regenerate the n-grams, and hopefully that is enough. But probably I'll have to consult Gilux on this topic. So yeah, second thing is automatic language detection. So I guess something to remember for if we change another of our language codes. But I think this case of changing the language code probably isn't likely to happen again. I mean, there's only one other language where we have a custom code is, as far as I know, is a cycle, or I'm not sure how you would pronounce this language. I think it's the only one where we have a custom code. Every other code is part of the ISO standard, but it's just some of them are not individual language, but more like a group of languages. And so that's another issue that we'll have to handle in Tatoeba, but yeah, exceptions. So we have a list of exceptions over here. Yeah, all of them. Macro language, collection of language, macro language. So this one is the one where it's not at all defined. So if it ever gets to be considered as official and has its official language code, then we'll have to go through the same step as for Tokipona, but all the other exceptions to our requirements is because we added languages that are not defined as individual languages, but as macro languages. So yeah, probably this scenario of changing the language codes is very likely not going to happen, or will happen only once more. But okay, so yeah, back to the last problem with Tokipona. So the search. So yeah, the search thing is, yeah, the search works as far as I've checked. If you try to search just every sentence in Tokipona, maybe there's missing a bit here actually. I thought it was more like 52, but we can compare with this page. Oh no, okay. 47 here. 47, okay. There's a bit of difference, but it can make sense if they haven't been indexed yet. So yeah, the total number of sentences here is fine. Actually searching from, if we try to just search all the sentences that have a translation in English, I mean the number seems to make sense as well. I don't really have a query to compare, but the weird thing here is normally if we reverse it, I would expect it to be the same number here, because if there are like 33,000 sentences in Tokipona translated into English, then there should be 33,000 as well in English translated into Tokipona, since it's like both ways, but it only detects 885, and I suppose those are only the sentences that have been added after we deployed this change. So yeah, there is this side effect with the search, and there is, I mean, yeah, we could just try to re-index all the sentences, but that might be a bit overkill, I think. If I remember a little bit how the search works, so the search is also not a part of Tatoeba that I'm super familiar with, but I remember there is a table. Let's check the database here. So there is a table, re-index flags. So I think in this table, whatever gets added in here will be re-indexed. We just have to check the structure here, and maybe one thing we can do is just fill up this table with the proper data, and then the search engine will, I mean, our regular re-indexation will take care of the rest. Okay, so we need sentence ID. So maybe adding, I'll have to try. I just have to check. We can check as well what is currently in this table on production. Okay, so yeah, I hope. So I had the feedback that yeah, things were a little bit difficult to read um, with the scale, like on smaller screen. If you're trying to look at what's written on the screen, it was a little bit hard. So I increased the scale. Hopefully this is readable now, but we'll have to see. I'll check that after the stream if this is easy to read on a mobile phone with 480p video quality. So let's see. Let's just see how many entries we have in this table. Okay, quite a lot actually. And indexed. How many are indexed? Oh, where? Okay. So there I would have to wonder why we have this, but okay. So yeah, what we could try, or what I will try, is to just insert a bunch. Yeah, to just insert in this table the list of IDs from Tokipuna and okay, removal, change. Okay, there is also a new, okay. This column here is not documented, or at least not in here. So there is also a type column. Change. Yeah, I suppose this will have to be changed. Okay. So we'll try that and hopefully that will solve the things for Tokipona. Actually, we could maybe try to insert some of them and then wait till the next reindexation. Okay, so I'll have to figure out how to do that. So we have, so this one is auto increment. We need the language. This we set to false and this we set to change. So I just have to craft the query. So I hope it's not going to be too long to execute. So insert into the index flags. So we want the sentence ID, the language, index we can leave default 0, and the type. And then we select ID, the key, okay, we're just gonna try to add maybe 200. So basically we want to select, let's see if that one works. So yeah, select 200 sentences in database, and we want to insert basically these values into this index flag. We're gonna try. Okay, so now if we count over here, that's 200. I forgot the number from before actually. We can display them a little bit. Okay. Yeah, okay, so maybe when the next indexation happens, hopefully these ones are taken into account, and then we can check if this affects the search results, if it affects these search results, which are currently at 885. We'll see. Alright, so yeah, that's one thing. Side effects from some changes. Yeah, now that I look at this. So second thing, so in the last Tatoeba stream where we had an interview with one of the Tatoeba members, Miles, I displayed in the side, like we had, maybe I can open the video quickly again, but we had the chat basically, and so I think we can try to reiterate this, although probably not today because I don't think there's a lot of people watching this, if anyone watching this live at the moment. Let me find. Alright, so we had over here this video. So yeah, basically I just took the chat from YouTube and displayed it on the side, and like that would allow people to, if they wanted to, could ask questions. So I think there was just a few comments at some point, but yeah, so I think in the next stream, so in this one, I didn't start to set things up in the UI, at least not here. But in the next streams, I could probably rearrange a little bit the UI to include the chat. Now the thing is, as far as I'm aware, I mean, I wouldn't want to restrict that only YouTube users can ask questions. So one possibility is to use the Tatoeba chat. So for that, maybe we should make it a little bit more visible somewhere, but there is, so we have a XMPP room, which anybody can access directly from the browser. So basically you just go here, you enter your username, like there's no registration or anything, and then you can access the Tatoeba chat. Yeah, now my problem is if using that, I'm still not sure how to integrate it into the stream UI, so we'll have to see. But that's one way probably we can promote for if people want to gather and discuss things during the stream. So back to the next things. So okay, Tokipona, yeah, we'll check later if indexation has changed. I mean, if the results here have changed. Now we move on to my next routine task, which is to check the pull requests. So for the pull requests, I think there are, yeah, I think first of all, I wanted to maybe try to deploy something today, but after all, I didn't really have time to merge anything, so we'll have to delay this one optimistically to next week. So, and we can check a few things. So I actually did check a few of them very quickly, but I'll go through them again here so that you can kind of see yeah, what is going on in the dev side. So yeah, we'll go from the most recent to the oldest. So the first thing is, so this one is really just minor fixes in the code. So the main thing to understand, like the main visible effect over here. No, let's go to Tatoeba. So where is this? Okay. Yeah, so there are some variables that were not reinitialized properly whenever a random sentence is reloaded. Here is taking a bit of time. Okay, that was a bit long, but I guess once in a while it might. Right, so most of the time nothing looks wrong, but the way it can be visible is right, so if you keep refreshing the random sentence as a guest, eventually you'll get a button to show unreviewed transcriptions, which never goes away even if there's no unreviewed transcriptions to show. So easiest way to reproduce this is if we search for a Japanese sentence. So here we have this button here that appears where so basically by default we don't show transcriptions for the sentences, but or at least we don't show the unreviewed ones. And in this case, this sentence here had an unreviewed transcription, so by clicking this button we can show it or hide it. But now if we go to English sentences which don't have any transcriptions and we reload, this button here still stays around and does absolutely nothing. Even though, yeah, okay, it wouldn't have necessarily been just on the main sentence, but could have been if there was any any Japanese translation here. But here there is no translation on any of the sentence, and there's still this button which doesn't need to be here. It shouldn't be here. So this, as far as the description says, should be solving at least this visible issue, and yeah, a bunch of other things that are being reinitialized whenever the sentence is refreshed. So it's not a whole lot of changes in the code. Yeah, this one is fairly safe, I think, to plan for the next Tatoeba update. So I'll add it here. And if we just look here, so what it reinitialize editable translations. Okay, that one is for if you translated something, you could edit right away whatever translation you added. So this is just the list of editable translation, duplicate. So this is if there's a duplicate warning, I suppose. New translations. Okay, I'm actually not sure anymore what's the difference between those two. Why is there new translations and an editable one? In any case, it's initialized with an empty array, so okay, so those are really new editable translations. Okay. Guess I'll have to check a little bit what's the difference between those two, but in any case, reinitializing it makes sense. New translation. Right, okay, that was the latest one, and has hidden transcriptions to false. Okay, yeah, I guess that's the one where we have the buttons probably that stays around. And then we have this change here. Icon in progress. Okay, in case there's something in progress and the person refreshes again. All right. Yeah, I think, yeah, overall it should be very safe to merge. And then we have also here the list that is being reset. So yeah, this one probably will be part of the next update although it won't be a very big change. Mostly a change for, I think it will mostly affect the guest users. So next one. Right, this one has been here for quite a while now, but updating the terms of use. So currently how we handle it. So there is a version here, yeah. And every time we change the terms of use, we should basically, like when there is let's say a significant change that really changes the content, not just like typo changes, we update the versions, and there is in Tatoeba a mechanism somewhere where when the version changes, there is some announcement banner that shows up, and that says we have updated our terms of use. Yeah, just to let people know. So basically, if you are aware and you close that, it means you agree with the terms of use. So over here, what the changes include is that there is a new configuration here to say at which version we are. There's obviously the update itself in the terms of use, and then okay, so before, maybe this was, I'm not sure if, yeah, okay, before the condition to see if the user has accepted terms of use was if there was any value in their settings for the terms of use. And now the condition checks if the value is equal to to the latest terms of use version. Right, and then this form just mentions what is the value currently. So this we could test. I think the part where it feels a bit weird to me is this line of code over here to set the value kind of outside of the class, but I don't know if it's just a style concern. I'm wondering as well actually if it's necessary to have this as a configuration. Yeah, that might be something I ask. So, I mean, I would, yeah, this one might be probably not a whole lot of change, could also be put for the next release, but I think I'll ask first if we really need to have this as a configuration. Because, I mean, this is not something we will change back and forth. Like, this is something it has to be done. The change needs to be done at the same time as whatever changes are made in the code. So I feel it might be okay to just have the value, to have a constant somewhere with the default value, and that's hard coded in the code, but I'll ask. Right. Okay, so this one, let's not put it right away in the next milestone, but very, very safe. If we have responses soon enough, we can probably plan it for next weekend. And the last one, so this one, which was initially for yeah, an issue that is just about if you delete your profile picture, it shows a weird text that says former member as if you were no longer a member of Tatoeba. But it actually solved some other things along the way. So here what I see is like there's a thread which started with, I guess, wondering if it's worth calling all the time the database to check the settings, but I probably that was that's probably the only way to go. And there was a few other things about the tests. Okay. So this one changes quite a lot of things, but I think here as well I have to rely on Gilux to confirm whether or not he sees anything else. On my side I will probably just test it. I think I tried to test it before. Did I? We can go through it again. So let's go to the dev branch. Okay, it's up to date. Yeah, okay, so we stay on dev and let's just start the VM. So while this starts, I'm just gonna check the other ones if there's anything else. Actually, I think those are the three main ones. This one is probably still ongoing. Yeah, support multiple audio. I think this one is probably still ongoing, and the other ones are kind of draft or half zombie, and this one not so urgent. So there's those. Those would be the main ones for the next. And actually there is also. Yeah, I should also add this language request. I just remember. I think we can add this one. Okay, actually wonder if this has made any progress. Oh, okay, it has increased, so probably we'll have to wait a bit more. Okay, so the VM is up, so yeah, in case you want to see what it looks like. Right, so this Vagrant up here starts the VM, and once this is running, we can, oops, I closed the window, we can go to localhost 8080, and this is the local Tatoeba, so this is just on my computer with barely any sentences. Yeah, I think I tried it before with the profile pictures, actually list of members. Several here. So if I use this picture, actually this doesn't update yet. My mouse has a too high sensitivity. Why is this picture not updating yet? Ah, maybe because I have to log out. Maybe it's this issue again. Right, okay, so picture has been updated. And now if I decide to remove, right, so okay, we can reproduce. And we can at least test that this works. So over here, we're gonna switch to the branch. I probably already have the branch. Okay. Alright, so now we should have the changes from this pull request. And we can go through the same. Yeah, maybe just for the sake of it, I'll use some other account here. So, oops, I have to choose a file. Okay, so we see here it's updated right away. That's good. And if we remove, it gets removed. And there's no... So in terms of how it works, it's definitely working. So yeah, this one is maybe safe. I'll add it to the next milestone, and hopefully there isn't too much more to do with that. I think this one is fairly safe. Okay. Right, so I think we have a little bit of time to take care of the language request. So there was a stream before already that showed how the languages are added to Tatoeba, but we can go through that again. So like just on the technical side. Okay, so let's go back to dev. We can make a branch. Actually, so issue ID here is 2915. And we're gonna just follow the instructions over here. So adding a new language. So yeah, technically anybody who wants to request a new language could technically actually do exactly what I'm doing here and make a pull request. So I think we're in a fairly simple case where we don't have to change anything about the script. I think it's just Latin script. But let me check actually. So we have a list here. Yeah, it's just using Latin script. So we have to go to the file language lib and then add the language in the function languages in Tatoeba. So if the language has an ISO1 code, we also have to add it in this other function. So let me check that. Actually, no, we only have ISO3 here. Okay, so we'll keep it like that. And if it's right to left, there's also somewhere else to add, but in this case we're a very simple case where we just have to add the language in the language lib. So let's close all this. So this is the file. The function is over here, so in this list over here we're just gonna add at the end so language name is interglossa. Language code is IGS. Okay, so that's the first step. Second step, we need the image or the language icon, and it has to be a SVG file. So this is one case where we didn't have a picture, a more customized picture for this language, so I think the decision was to go with the default design, which just the letters and the 3-letter code with a white background. So yeah, we're gonna have to convert this one into a SVG file. So we have here a PNG file. If I can, did I download it? Okay, I feel like something should have opened somewhere, but maybe not. How do I save this? Okay, I'm just trying to save this file somewhere. Alright, so yeah, we have this file, so let's continue here. Yeah, so converting this SVG to this PNG into an embedded SVG. So first we want to compress apparently. So 1 kilobyte, okay. So now we have a smaller version. And it's still looking the same, output. Next. Convert it into a data URI. Yeah, okay. Okay, so then download the templates. Oh, somehow this is... Oh yeah, okay. I would probably have to save this. Or this is just an error. This page doesn't work anymore. Okay, maybe I'll have to update this link. Save link. Ah. So IGS. I think that was the code, if I remember. Yes. So we'll save that into the so this have to be saved. Does it say it here? Yeah, in this web root image flags folder. Okay. So I should find it somewhere now. Yeah, this I can delete. Well, let's delete it afterwards. So, okay, we have... Okay, this is the template. And the thing over here, so if we kind of have a look at the other ones, so this, there's, yeah, it looks a bit different actually here. Data URI, okay. So yeah, just for the information, this is I think the first language. Yeah, all the other languages before were handled by Ricardo, but Ricardo is no longer with us. So this is the first language I'm handling since then. So all the steps I'm going through, he was the one who was doing that before. And I just want to word wrap was what I was looking for. Okay, so this one IB, okay. So we basically just copy what we have over here up to here. And we add it into this one over here. We save. Okay. So next step, if we want to check locally that things, I mean, at least we want to check how it looks on the page, we're gonna run this command here. So back to the console, we're going to connect to the VM. and yeah, connect to the database. And then run the command. Oops. And this will we can just, I don't know if null will work, but we can just put 0 because we don't have a list locally. So we can now go back to the stats per languages. Do we find it over here, but I don't think this is the correct rendering here. Actually, we could have just opened oh, there is an error. There is an error somewhere. Alright, I'm trying to compare. Yeah, actually the template is maybe a little bit wrong. Or IBO, okay. And yeah, it has here, all of them seems to have this image inside, okay. So maybe I have to update this this page. All right. Oop. Yeah, I guess the template was a bit wrong. Let's take over this one here and just copy from that. Okay, I think that should be better now. So back to the browser. If we refresh, okay, now we have something that looks like what we want it to look like. So we went through these steps. This one we can skip. Deployment on production is for later. Okay, so the changes are made, and now it's just a matter of opening the pull request. Pushing the code first and then yeah, opening the pull request. So I'll just do that quickly, and I think that will be the last thing for the stream today, the last routine task for the stream today. So I'm not used to having the scale for the screen. So first let's delete. Yeah, we want to delete that one here. We don't need it anymore. So then we add the rest. I don't know if there's a pattern for the commits. Okay. Let me just say add language. I guess I'll just take the title. So add language. Okay. My cat wants attention. Shiva, go. Yeah, and then we just push. And let's check the branch. Okay. So you have where you had the image. All right. So yeah. So to summarize, actually not to summarize yet. Let me just check for the indexation. All right. So we see from here there's a few less sentences that are not indexed in this table. So let's see if we refresh over here if that had any effect. Okay, not so much actually. So there's probably other things to do. So I'll have to check that a little bit further. Maybe with Gilux he can. Otherwise we maybe have to rerun the indexation. I mean, worst case, we're just gonna rerun the indexation for every language, or at least every language which we know that the Tokipona sentences have been translated into. But yeah, I can check that with the other developers who are a bit more familiar with the search than I am. So yeah, now to summarize, so Tokipona still a few issues in investigation, and for the next Tatoeba update, so we have a small bug fix for the random sentence, the refreshing of the random sentence. We'll have a new language, and we'll have a bug fix for the profile, like deleting your profile picture, but which should also improve the consistency of the data when somebody updates their profile, that they don't have to log out and log in, or when somebody gets new permissions or gets permissions removed, they don't that the permissions get updated right away. So there's that, and there's maybe going to be as well the terms of use. So those are small changes for next week. And I think that will be it for today. So as far as I can tell, there aren't so many people online. Yeah, for next time, what I'll try to do though is really I didn't have time for today, but I'll try to set up something so that we can see somewhere up there, so yeah, somewhere in the screen that we can see the chat, and that we can have a little bit more of a collaboration there. So I'll try to set that up, and yeah, we can try to have an actual live Q&A, although maybe not 100% live, maybe a Q&A in general with some live questions. And I guess I'll also provide the possibility, if people want to ask anything before the stream, probably could use the wall for people to post their questions, and I can go through them in the next stream. Alright, so yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you next time. Bye bye.